Hello, it's John here for another 850 tutorial. In this tutorial we are going to be creating another 2D collectible for a sort of 2D game. So I'm just going to set my canvas real quick, 300 by 300, make sure that frame rate is low so that it's going to be appropriate for a sprite sheet. Cool, so now that's set up, let me tell you a bit more about what we're going to do. We're going to be making a coin specifically referring back to, thinking back to, the classics of Super Mario styled coin. And we're going to do this in After Effects because we want the coin to rotate, giving a sense of a 3D look to it. And it should look pretty cool. It should look pretty cool in the end. So I'm just setting up my options and I'm going to create a circle and set that to gold. Remember, if you hold Shift, you will create a perfect circle. So we're just going to scale that down because I don't want it to be too big. Need to go into the stroke and I'm just going to add another gold, slightly different tone though. That way when the light and what we have to it later on should make it stand out a little bit more. Cool. At this point you're going to want to duplicate it, naming one like top or ring or something like that, and one base or middle, something like that. And what we're going to do on each one of those is the one that I've named ring, I'm going to delete the inside, so there to be no fill. And on the base, I'm going to get rid of the stroke. And now away, if I flick between them, as you'll see, it's set up correctly. And the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to make these 3D. So to make this 3D, you need to go into your composition settings, Control K, and check your 3D renderer. I'm using the Cinema 4D renderer because it's quite powerful, but you should be able to do this with the other 3D renderer as well, should you need, if you've not updated your After Effects recently. So inside the ring, go down to your extrusion depth and set that. What you're going to set that typically depends on your canvas. Since this canvas is only 300, I'll just set this to anything and see what this looks like. So I'll be able to tweak it from that point. I'm just going to rotate around just so I can sort of see the bum and how long its bum is. As you can see, the bum is really long. Too long, some would argue. So I need to go in and drop that extrusion depth. Somewhere around 36 in my case should be appropriate. But set yours to whatever you feel would be appropriate for you. And I'm just going to put that rotation back to its original point so I can set it up. So with that set, I need to set the extrusion depth of the outer ring as well. And I want this to be thicker. Again, like the classic coin style, I'd like to have the trim around it that extrudes further out. And we're going to need to change our material options where it says cast shadow. This should be the first option in there. What this will do again when we make this 3D later on is it's going to allow for more advanced lighting and shading and should give us a nice sense of 3D. So what I'm going to do next is just for the sake of example drop a new shape on here, just drop a star, just so we get an idea about what the coin would look like with an item on there. So I'm going to need to do the same, set it to 3D by clicking the little 3D cube and extruding the depth. Turn on that cast shadows again because that's going to be quite nice once we put our light in here. And I just need to bring that forward as well because it's fallen behind the base. Cool, so this is all looking pretty good. It's all looking very flat in 2D, but it's looking pretty good. So if we press this button, we should be able to toggle this and set up our 3D layers a bit more accurately. So I want the 3D style to not protrude too much, so sit right through the middle of it. And I'm just setting that up in my top view. Again, you're going to want to balance out the ring and the base too. So I'm just switching up my views. So I've got a better view of the top view, and again, just reposition that, get it looking good. So just tweak it, play with it. Overall, should be looking pretty nice at this point. So I'm ready to start parenting. So if I drag the little circle, I'm going to set this to my base. And what that means is I don't need to rotate everything. I only need to rotate one thing at a time. I'm just going to create a quick light as well. By going layer, new light. And as you can see, it's illuminated everything. We'll play with the light a bit more in a minute. For now, I'm just going to set this up so the whole thing rotates by keyframing and adding a rotation. My star didn't go all the way through, so I needed to reposition that. And as you can see already, we have a really nice rotating coin, and quick. So at this point, I'm going to need to make a couple of small tweaks and changes, but ultimately you can see the final effect. You can already see what's going to happen here. So I'm just going to make a couple of changes because, like I say, it looked a bit nicer, need to reposition things, just get things looking good. If you know and pay particular attention, you'll see that it's almost rotating with a bit of depth as well. Like it's not fully rotating on the same spot, and that's just because my anchor point's off. And actually, I think that's kind of nice. I think it looks even more dynamic that way. What I'd like to do is try a different example. So that was with a star on, but you might be thinking, I don't actually need to put a star on here. What about if I wanted to put my own artwork on? So I brought in a picture of a bee, which if you're loyal to the channel, you might actually recognize. And I'm just going to reposition that. And this is just a simple 2D bitmap image. And I'd like to see how that looks. So I've set it 3D and the colors are blending through a lot more. Not really kind of how I'd like it to look. I'm not sure if maybe it's just because it's in the wrong position, so just need to set that up so it's in the right position. But it's not that, it's actually the light. I think it's the light that's too powerful. And it's just drowning out the image. But what I'm going to do now anyway is I want the same image to be on the opposite side. So I'm going to flip it and take it to the rear of the coin. And if you've been particularly observant, you'll notice I actually just put it in the wrong place. I've now got two in the same place. But I'm just parenting these that way. Now when I rotate, the image should rotate with the coin. If they went in the wrong position anyway, too far in. But it's cool, I can fix that. There we go. That should now be sorted. Nope, why not? That's a 9. Cool. Oh, almost. There she is. So now the rotation should have a coin on both sides. Let's just fix that light up a little bit. So parallel light's got to work well for this, but the spotlight would also work quite well. Again, just play with them, see what you think. If I take the brightness down again, the whole thing looks a bit better. It'd be nice to give it a bit more of a glow. You could give the whole coin a different more sort of feel. Like if I said it's orange, the coin looks a lot more orange now by changing the type of bulb in the light. Yeah, there we go. Everything's looking pretty good now. Let's give it a little look-see. Nice. There we go. You know what? Actually, I probably should have flipped one of those images. I think when I moved it, I never flipped it. So I'm just going to right-click, transform, flip horizontal. And need to rotate that. Not that rotation, but that rotation. There we go. It's going to need repositioning as well now. But that's not a problem. Cool, the whole thing's coming along. So yeah, so there we go. I'm going to grab all these and pre-compose them and basically put them in a folder for resizing for the array to like sort of export and see how that looks. So you know at the top you see how when it rotates it sort of cuts out, there's a small black line. There it is. The problem is because in the previous composition the canvas size is wrong, so I need to go across back into that and increase the canvas size. And then that should resolve that issue. I'm going to put the star back on as well because I think the star sort of sells it a bit more. Looks a lot more sort of traditional game coin collectible. this point. You can change the brightness as well. I think the coin looks a bit better, a bit brighter. Let's have a look, see how that is. Oops. I think that looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that end result. Let's see it in the full screen. Like if you saw this in a 2D game, you'd be impressed. You'd be like, look at that 3D coin. Whoever made that must be amazing. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, there you go. Let's render that out. I'm going to render that out as a sprite sheet using Shooter. And what I might need to actually is resize it because I want to keep the sprite sheet under like 2048 by 2048. I want to just keep it reasonably sized. And that should do it. What I'm also going to need to do is check the end of the canvas. So at the moment it's set to 3 seconds, need to make that 2. And yeah, there we go. So that's the sprite sheet. Hope you found this useful. I'll try and make this available, accessible through the website. But yeah, thanks for watching guys, appreciate it.